Okay, I just decided to put out a quick video. It's kind of impromptu. Um, but while I can sit with relatively little pain, and that's what I've done with the last two videos. My addiction videos had a little bit of attention. I've shared it all over the universe. And, but, the quality of my presentation was a little lacking because I was kind of doped up. I just started steroids and some other muscle relaxant, and I can only take them at night because they'll wreck me at work. So um, I took them last night. Uh, I'm not as doped up right now, so I guess that's good. I don't know. Sometimes I seem the same doped up as sober. Um, so anyway, I'm here because I want to make an announcement. I made a video, a 20-minute long video in a different aspect ratio on my telephone. It had beautiful lighting and filters, and I was going to put it on TikTok. It had the TikTok aspect ratio. The problem is I rewatched it and I kind of was doped up and I was rambling a good bit. I looked pretty good though. I look better than I do now. Um, but I rambled and I don't want to ramble too much. So I don't want to make it. And even though I can more easily make a 20-minute video on YouTube that will go to also Rumble that people will consume because 20 minutes isn't too bad. On TikTok, it seems like attention spans are about 3 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. So I might have had to chop my 20-minute video in half, and it was just too much effort considering the content was not presented as well as I wanted it to be. So while I'm cogent and coherent, I want to go ahead and talk about what's going on with the channel, specifically with Henry Covert's BLU Review podcast. So the podcast, has accumulated 360 subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I need subscribers. Uh, Several of my videos have had anywhere from 1,000 to 55,000 views. I'm not kidding. I don't understand this one video has 55,000 views, but I'm grateful for it. I think the most liked video I have, I can't recall which one it is. It could be Cannibal Holocaust. It's like 30 likes, which is really a lot because the proportion of likes to views is always. Anyway, so here's the announcement. So it's going to be kind of a show within a show. I want to continue, keep the subscribers I have, keep the momentum going, keep the numbering of BLU Review number, whatever. Like this is going to be number 189. This will be its own episode simply because it is an announcement that applies to the entire show and my whole channel. So I think it's okay to put this in here as part of the BLU Review podcast playlist. So without further ado, it's expanding and it's going to be a group effort. That's not saying that I maybe won't do just a Henry Covert's BLU Review solo, thing once in a while, but for the foreseeable future, indefinitely, I have a core group of people that I'm working with. I'm essentially the director in a literal sense, as in bringing all the different parts together and people together and coordinating it and moving it forward. And obviously, I'm a producer because I'll be producing content. And I'm going to be a co host, but not the host. It's no longer just me. Okay, so I just want to talk about a few people who are very intrinsic to this project. I've mentioned a couple in one of my last videos. So I'm going to get down to telling you about them and their titles and why I chose them. And in a future video, I'll talk about the other people involved with it. But I wanted to get these people a shout out because they're helping this thing move forward, even with my disability and other things. It's gradually moving from the realm of a group chat to a Zoom meeting, and then we'll go to recording an episode, and then hopefully we'll do our first live stream. So right now we're what's the word? Correlating. That's not the right word. Material. It's not correlating. it's not cogitating, but that thing we do, we're taking the material, pulling it together, and assessing what we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about a wide range of subjects, but all related to film. It's going to be BLU Review is like the subtitle. So it's going to have a new title. The actual show within the show is Deep Images. I'm sorry it took 5 minutes to get to that. Deep Images is the name of a Facebook film group that I moderate and created about 4 years ago. Just about everyone, if not everyone involved in this podcast, is a member of that group. That group has about 450 members. So again, it has a tiny bit of recognition, not much, but every little bit helps. So a few hundred people at least are aware of Deep Images, BLU Review, and me. So now I want to make them aware of other people who are contributors who I chose for specific reasons, because Deep Images is going to have panels, roundtables. It will be done in Zoom, obviously, talking heads, Brady Bunch style. First person that is working with me the closest is my longtime friend, compatriot, Sean Levin. And I've been friends with Sean since 2005. And we have worked together on a number of projects. My ex-wife's defunct website, material for the Walt Newton and Philip Jose Farmer fan community, aborted webcomic projects that I was putting together that we're going to run on my ex-wife's website. And, basically we've, thrown out all our respective writing to each other back and forth for beta reads and feedback all these years. So, and we've met in person twice, and each time spent 3 days together, and we're able to kind of, get that we're on the same wavelength. So Sean, at least for the time being, as I understand it, and he's free to correct me here, will only be able to contribute audio to the Zoom for now. That's fine. Because Sean is pretty much the producer of this, the producer, as in, like Jimmy Dore has that guy, Malcolm. I don't know if you like Jimmy Dore or heard of Jimmy Dore, but Sean and I are fans. And so Sean is like my Malcolm. So he has been contacting people, making lists, correlating all of the subjects that we're going to talk about, sifting through them, communicating with me on a daily basis, back and forth, and of course sharing all the things he wants to talk about and put into the show. And then he will be doing like a lot of behind the scenes stuff as far as helping put the show together. And also, when we get to live streams, I think I'm going to appoint Sean to be the moderator of the live chat. I think that would be a great thing for him to do. He moderates a bunch of Facebook groups and has moderated Yahoo groups, and he owns groups and like Crossover Universe. So he's got the mod chops. So he's my instrumental partner in this. And so he will be a co-host also. He just may be a faceless co-host for a while. A producer and a co-host. And then the next person who is pivotal to this is Bill White. Bill White is a guy that I've known since 1998, and he has a long storied life. He's worked he's run a jazz club. He's written about, he's performed live theater many times, written plays, experimental theater. He's recorded about 100 albums at least, just independent albums of his own. And he's written a lot of film criticism. He wrote for Seattle's main newspaper. When he was here in Charlotte, he wrote for a thing called, I think it was a music comment, which I wrote for also, which was spawned of Indie File, which I was writing for when I met him. That was just a regionally distributed free paper where I had a film column. So he lived in Charlotte for a couple of years, and then he moved to Seattle. Now he's in Peru with his wife and child. And he's just kind of an endless font of information, kind of a mastermind of I don't know how to put it exactly, but I'm reaching for depth with this project, the same thing that I've declared as a mission statement on Blue Review. I'll sum it up as Britta Gieb, who is a credible film writer that I did invite to the project, but she's too busy right now. She is in Germany. Britta Gieb has a group on Facebook called Movies with a Stunning Message. And she's really helped me promote my channel and the show. But her mission statement is very similar to mine. She and I were talking about it recently. And it's like that projected show I talked about a long time ago that I co-conceived with my ex-fiance. So we're going to talk about film. We're still going to have, reviews and probably a lot of ridiculous dry humor because that's just the way I am. But, some depth, some insight, some analysis, subtext, all the kind of film stuff. Don't want it to be sterile, though. Everybody here has got their own personality. Some people may clash, and that's okay. I want to get honest conversation going. At this period of my life, I am claiming the title of truth teller, and I'm trying to apply that authenticity to every part of my life. It's hard at times since I work for a giant corporation. Sometimes I have to negotiate my realness. But in this case, no, it's going to be unfettered until YouTube, censors us. Which is why we're also going to be in Rumble. Everything here is mirrored on Rumble already. Not every episode, but the last, say, a dozen episodes since I hooked up with Rumble. They're supposed to be syncing all of my episodes, but they said it could take weeks. Well, it's been over a month. I don't know what's going on. But at least as I make an episode, it goes up on Rumble. So that's another outlet. And I can also advertise and promote this on TikTok. Maybe nobody cares, but that's okay. A lot of people could see it. Real quick. So we might have a legion of Gen Z fans. Probably not, but I'm cool with that. And we need to educate people. When I say truth teller, we want to kind of talk about these movies, facts, information. You guys know I'm an endless supply of useless ephemera that I can't make really any money on having. But that's what it is. And I've recruited people who also have such amazing knowledge and recall. And but we also have opinions and the way film affects us intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, socio-culturally, socio-politically, philosophically, sexually, spiritually. Did I say spiritually? All of that's going to be there. Like I said, that's the part of the mission statement. So let's get back to the people involved. So like I said, Bill Whiten has kind of done everything, and he was the first guy I thought of that we should recruit. Sean and I should recruit for his vast knowledge. I think the one thing he hasn't done creatively is a podcast, so now he will be part of this one, and I'm very proud to have him. He will be a co-host. I do consider him also a producer because he has kind of helped shape the direction of where things are going as far as moving the group chat to Zoom meetings, the way we're going through material that everybody likes and hashing out what we're going to talk about, and the way he's pushing forward the dialogue of these, pushing forward the direction of the dialogue that we're having. And so, yes. So then I've got one more producer to mention. That's going to be my friend Dwayne Cochran. I've known Dwayne for 30 years, almost exactly. Dwayne is going to be our technical producer. He is going to help this look way better than this does. And look, have a good Zoom layout. And, I send him screenshots of some of my favorite channels that do these things, do live streams and panels. So he kind of gets it. And he's also given me other technical advice. He's always been a go-to guy for like IT and tech support. He's always been heavy into film and comic books. He's worked in the film industry for quite a while. He's a photographer. He's a jack of all trades, and a great friend. I'm happy to have him on board in a bigger capacity even than I initially approached him for. He's you know, kind of jumped in with more aggressively with help and advice and material. So I want to talk about Keith Howell. Keith Howell is a writer, an artist, great artist. He's been published many times. He's illustrated works by a lot of incredible authors, especially Philip Jose Farmer, who is my favorite fiction writer. Someone that the community of fans of Philip Jose Farmer and his concepts. That's how I met Sean. That's how I met Keith. A couple other people in this thread. So it was a key. It's been a key experience. As I stated in a video not long ago, somewhat obliquely, I'm not really part of that community anymore, but I'm always open to working with people who are. So Keith was one of the first people that came to mind. Even before I talked to Sean about this, I thought of Keith. One of the last virtual conventions the Farmer fan community had online, Keith and I and a couple other people had this incredible deep talk about film, and it was like, this is kind of what I want to do at the podcast all along. One of those guys was Frank Schildner. So Frank Schildner will be a contributor and a panelist, and he has quite a resume too. But I'm trying to concentrate just on the big title people. But Frank also is an invaluable person to this, and one of the very first people that I came to mind, and a lot of us because of those conversations a couple of years ago. I'm going to offer Keith the slot of being the moderator of the panels on the occasions that whoever brings forward the topics, if that person wants to be the moderator, that's fine. But he has done that well, I've noticed, on the FarmerCon virtual conventions. He's worked on several podcasts, and I'm happy to have him on board. So he's also a co-host. The last person I'll mention today is Tim Tolbert. As you guys know, probably he is my first and primary permanent channel patron and sponsor. Without him, this channel would not be possible. He has helped in numerous ways. And since he's kind of given me collaborative input and also helped finance this scenario, I'm going to give him an executive producer credit, because those things are a lot of what executive producers do on shows. Sometimes the executive producer is also the creator of the show, but not always. So Tim Tolbert. So that's it. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm almost at 20 minutes again, but it's okay. It's on YouTube. I'm going to give you more info in the coming days. Deep Images will premiere hopefully sometime in June. I was hoping by the end of May, but my accident is pushing me back a little. But it will happen. We will make it so. And thank you. Thank you for following the channel. I'm really excited about this show. I think it's going to be super entertaining, informative, and I think I might be wrong, but I think it's going to blow up on here and on Rumble. So take care, my friends.